people are inadmissible because they were involved in torture or crimes against humanity, and we've been able to show that that's not the case. That people were innocent of these allegations. So yeah, there have been lots of cases where we have been able to show through our work that the decisions of visa officers were not reasonable. Having said that, sometimes we see files where the person should have qualified, but because of a mistake made by the consultant, the file was rejected. And as I've said, in cases like that, there's really not a lot that we can do to help the people. The people, you're better off reapplying than trying to go to court. The thing, though, is that if the person is a registered consultant, and under the new law that came into effect, only people who are registered consultants can give advice under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act or file applications. If the person is a registered consultant and he gives bad advice, then one option is to make a complaint. If the person is a lawyer, you complain to the Law Society of the province in which the lawyer is a member. Or if the person is a member of a consulting group, you can complain to the new consulting regulator. In terms of procedural fairness, the procedure that's now been accepted is that, generally speaking, when an officer has a concern about whether or not a person may be inadmissible to Canada because they misrepresented, or they presented false documentation, or they might have committed a criminal offense, they have to give notice to the person, and they have to give the person an opportunity to respond to the concerns. So sometimes we see that the notice isn't given, or the notice isn't given properly, and in those cases we've been successful in going to court and challenging the decision on grounds that it was not fairly taken.
Do you have any message for the people of India, for the people of Punjab?
I think that the process of getting immigration to Canada is getting more and more complex. I think it's very important that if people are thinking of immigrating to Canada, that before they spend money, they should make sure they get really good advice from a person who is competent to provide them with information about the different processes and procedures. The procedures are changing all the time now, and indeed, every week we're learning about changes to one process or another. There were changes to the skilled worker program, there were changes to the investor program. And so it's very important that if you consult someone, you consult someone who is knowledgeable and keeps up with what is going on in the immigration procedures. If you do, you're likely to avoid a lot of the problems that I see happening, because usually people come to me when the applications have been refused, and at that time, oftentimes you can see that the problems that arose, that some of them could have been avoided. So the best advice is to start off on the right foot. If you think that you've been unfairly treated, then you should consider seeking judicial review of the decision. And of course, there you need to get someone who has expertise in judicial reviews, and you should seek an opinion, because again, you don't want to spend a lot of money on a judicial review if there's no merit to it. So I think the best course of action is to seek an opinion, and if in the end there is merit, you should pursue it, because it's important that if you've been unfairly treated or the decision is unreasonable, that you seek recourse. And if you get a competent lawyer to assist you, and there is a good case, then you have a reasonable chance of success.
Thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy all the information you've given us.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I hope that we'll have another opportunity in the future to discuss other issues of interest to your viewers.
Thank you.